guys, Jonah back with a beer review. You know how we roll. And yeah, I thought I'd do another one from the Beer Awards box. There is another box on the way, apparently. Well, I hope it is because I paid, but it is in delivery. It's about pubs. So I'm still not 100% sure how um, pubs can fit into a can. We shall see, dear viewer. We shall see. There will be an unboxing video. And I have actually received a Christmas box um, from my family. The first time they've actually sent me beer. Well, this side of the family has sent me beer. So I might do an unboxing on that. They are all beers, bar one maybe that I've had before. But I am really happy to receive beers because I've been asking for years. I say, look, well, basically all I want really is a card. That would be nice. But this year they sent me some beers, so it's like cool, and I've got a card as well. Brilliant. Anyway, not sure about this because I shall show you. This is the one I'm drinking today. It's Stanley versus Beer 52. One for the road, and the beer is brewed by Beer 52's subsidiary Ad Astra. So this, if nobody knew that Ad Astra is basically Beer 52, this proves it beyond any doubt. But they've won an award, apparently, one for the road award. And it's talking about how Stanley are an American company who, dun dun dun, actually make insulated cups and look like they paid for an advert. So if you want to do something, scan to win a cup, basically. So if you want to win a cup, why not pause the video and yeah, do that. Anyway, so I don't know why you win an award for that. They'll give an award for anything these days. But the beer in question is this. It is a Legendary Pilsner. And apparently they've teamed up with Stanley to do this Pilsner, which is basically a rice Pilsner, which is cool. I like rice in a lager. And it's Hallertauer hops. And there is a look. If you didn't want to win before, they put the same thing on the can as well. If you've forgotten about it, you can win on the can. 4% beer. It's water, barley, hops, and yeast. It says that's interesting. So it says in the online beer notes. I really wish they put the beer notes in the magazine because that was really good. But it's online. It says rice, but no rice on the label. So trading standards would say this has rice in it and you haven't put it on the label. Naughty, naughty. I don't know if people have allergies to rice. Does rice have gluten in, perhaps? I don't know. Well, so does barley and shit like that. So, who cares about such matters? Unless you're gluten free, which I feel sorry for you. But then you probably wouldn't be getting a beer box if you were gluten intolerant. It's a friend at work, actually. Hey, James, if you're listening to this, don't know why you would be, but maybe. And I said to him, "Oh, do you go out drinking?" And he goes, "No, no, I'm gluten intolerant." And I tried to suggest some gluten-free beers, but he wasn't having any of it. He was like, "Look, if I have any gluten, I'm really buggered." So I said, "All right, cider. I'll buy you a cider." And he sort of went, thought about it for ages, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I could probably do cider." And it's like, if there's a problem, ask Unclejona, and we can find a solution, which usually involves lots of drinking. Right, so glass can, glass can. Let's get this bad boy in there. 4%, I believe this was. Now, let's see if there's any. Oh, there was a tiny bit of sedimente that went in there. Oh no, I better do the photo. Legend. I am legend. There we go. That's interesting. You've got a bit of lemony kind of thing going on. Good fingers head. And look at that. There's some real like carbonation going on in here. That is pretty good. And this is a non-nucleated glass, but maybe there's some particulates or something stuck on the glass. I need to give this one a deep clean, because trying to get right down to the bottom of the glass is difficult. It gets washed every time. But I'm going to get some, what's it, VPW or something, or brewing cleaner. PBW is the other one, isn't it? Yeah, interesting. There's a slight sort of sour note, touch of kind of lime, perhaps. Hallertau's pretty neutral, if I remember. It's a noble hop, obviously German hop. But they do use it in a lot of different things. Right, so this is supposedly a Pilsen beer. Let us see. It doesn't have Czechoslovakian hops. Let's see how well it does with German hops. Cheers and beers. Look at that fluffy whiteness. That's so cool. I'm liking that. Yes, let's drink some. Wow, interesting. So yeah, getting some bitter sourness up front, bit of its kind of lemony stuff, but just on the lips. Then it goes down quite nicely. It is quite smooth, and there is a little bit of creaminess on the end, which might imply that there's some rice in there. But it definitely wasn't on the label, which is weird, if you ask me. Let me triple check. Gluten. Yeah, water, barley, hops, and yeast. I wonder why it says that. And then on Beer 52's website, it mentions rice. That's very strange. Oh. It does have that Pilsner finish, but up front it's not clean enough. It's a bit too bitter, and a bit lemony, which is not really what a Pilsner's supposed to be. Pilsner's supposed to be very clean, very crisp, and then smooth. So it's got the smoothness in there. It's just a bit too bitterness from bitter from the hops up front. Yeah, for this to be a legendary Pilsner. But I also know that Astra, Beer 52's brewing arm, one of their principles is taking very traditional beer styles and then changing them, because of course they know better than a 100-year-old or 200-year-old beer style. Of course they know better. Like the woke movement, they take things like Shakespeare and then go, you know what, we can write it better and we can change it and make it better for TV. And then they do that, and guess what, it's shit. I'm not saying this beer is shit, but the same thinking is there. And that's Ad Astra all over. We'll take something really traditional, really perfected over a long period of time, and we'll change it. Yeah, we'll throw some hops in. Yeah, yeah, because we're cool. We're thinking outside the box. In reality, what you're doing is you're besmirching, let's say, I was going to say shitting on, but no, you were besmirching traditional forms of brewing. Um, and they're doing it because they think they're cool. And when it doesn't work, I bet they'll blame, oh yeah, well, it's the traditional side of it didn't work. Changing it didn't wasn't the thing that made the difference. Just ridiculous. Why don't you come up with a good recipe, your own recipe, and see if you can compete with the traditional styles? I bet you can't. I wouldn't be surprised if the brewers in here are like in their 20s and they're called master brewers. Because, of course, someone doing a day release course is equivalent to a master brewer who's brewed in a brewery for 50 years. It's amazing, the youth of today. And I was a youth at one point, but the youth of today think they know better than a huge amount of experience. And yeah, sorry, Beer 52, but yeah, doesn't seem to work for me, not in case of this beer. And sorry, Stanley, because I'm just using a normal glass, but seems quite cool. Didn't really need a vacuum flask. Hmm. Tell you what, though, I'm getting towards the bottom of the glass now, and things are kind of smoothing up a little bit. Maybe that's what they want you to do with this beer. Open it, pour it into a vacuum glass, a vacuum flask, whatever they're calling it, so it doesn't go cool, and leave it standing for 10 minutes. Don't drink it though. Oh no, because if you drink it, you'll discover that it's not very good. Um, but yeah, leave it. Let some of the carbon dioxide come out, and yeah, you might be left with something that's drinkable. I jest, of course. It's not that bad. It's just not a legendary Pilsner. And you chose that name. What I would call this is a legendary failure. Uh, there we go. Stanley and Ad Astra. Not very good in my book. But don't let that stop you liking this beer. And don't let it stop you from entering that competition and trying to win. I think I'd put tea and coffee in it. Probably tea, to be honest. That'll keep it warm for me, as opposed to keeping a beer cold, which is reasonably important, don't get me wrong, but just not this beer. Yeah, there's that bitterness again. Tell you what, people say, and I'm not a lager drinker usually, but Bohemian Pilsner is probably one of my favourite lager styles. Um, and a lot of people say it's very, very difficult to brew a really good lager because very there is nowhere to hide. There is a very slim band to make a good beer, and unfortunately, that beer is not within the band. I would say it's not that good. Anyway, this has been Uncle Jonah slagging off Beer 52 once again. And hopefully they learn from the feedback. Um, it is a foolish person who does not take feedback and learn from it. But Beer 52 really do not seem to learn. They are not willing to listen to its customers. If you're out there and you're watching this Beer 52, why not drop me a line? I can definitely help you. And I've got Scottish blood in my veins. So let that, hopefully, that'll swing it, won't it? Anyway, dear viewer, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And Uncle Jonah will be back with a legendary review. And that's coming up real soon.